Let's start Chapter 13 Food for Plants. Human beings, plants, and animals are living things and they share various similarities. Like all living things grow and reproduce. They need food, water, and air. All green plants can produce their own food, but animals and human beings depend on plants and other animals for food. Photosynthesis. Plants make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. In this process, they use sunlight, water, minerals, and carbon dioxide. Leaves are a plant's kitchen, but only green leaves that have a pigment called chlorophyll can make food. The roots of plant absorb water and minerals from the soil. Water travels up from the roots through the stem to the leaves. Plants get carbon dioxide and water from the atmosphere. During the process of photosynthesis, plants release oxygen. Foods plants produce. At first, a plant produces glucose, a sugar which changes into starch and is further stored in various parts of the plant. Starch is a type of carbohydrate which gives energy to the plant. Like all living things, plants also breathe. During daytime, they take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. This process is called respiration. If you look at a leaf carefully using a microscope, you will see tiny pores. These pores are stomata through which carbon dioxide is taken in by the plant and oxygen is released. During the day, the plants release oxygen during photosynthesis and carbon dioxide during respiration. But at night, there is no sunlight and photosynthesis does not take place. So, plants release only carbon dioxide. Plants that cannot make food. Some plants do not have chlorophyll. Therefore, these plants cannot carry out the process of photosynthesis. Such plants follow different mechanisms to obtain their food. Some of these mechanisms are parasites. Parasites are plants that cannot make their own food and obtain food from other plants. Have you seen trees covered with yellowish-green stems that seem to hang in the air? This is the parasitic plant dodder or Akashganga. If not removed on time, it would spread and cover many other trees. Mushrooms and other kinds of fungi are also some examples of parasites. Dodder. Animal eaters. Plants that live in poor soil conditions may face difficulty in getting all the required minerals they need. Therefore, some plants survive by eating insects or even small animals. Let us see how some of these plants work. Animal eaters. Plants that live in poor soil conditions may face difficulty in getting all the required minerals they need. Therefore, some plants survive by eating insects or even small animals. Let us see how some of these plants work. Sundew. The leaves of the sundew are covered with tiny tentacles, each of which has a drop of sticky fluid at the end. When an insect sits on the leaf, it gets stuck to it and the tentacles trap it quickly. After the insect is eaten, the tentacles open and the remains are blown away. Pitcher plant. The pitcher plant has leaves that look like a pitcher. The hollow leaves have nectar, and when an insect sits on the leaf to have nectar, the lid closes and the insect is trapped inside. Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap has jaw-like traps at the end of its leaves. When an insect lands on the leaf, the jaws close and the insect is trapped. Bladderwort. Bladderworts are plants that catch animals in underwater bladders. Bladderworts are found near the surface of water. When an animal touches the spikes, the door flies open and water rushes in, carrying the animal with it. The animal dies and decays. Food chains and food webs. Look at the chain of pictures. It tells us who eats whom. Plants need sunlight to grow. A grasshopper feeds on grass. It is eaten by a frog. The frog is eaten by a snake. A hawk then eats the snake. This is a food chain. Different food chains exist in different habitats. Some amount of food energy gets lost at every stage of a food chain. There cannot be too many links in a single food chain because the animals at the end of the chain would not get enough food. Many organisms eat more than one kind of animals, plants or insects, forming a complex series of food chains. These are called food webs. Plants and animals are interdependent. An important feature of the food chain is that plants and animals are interdependent. That is, they are dependent on each other. Animals depend on plants for their food, as it is known that some animals only survive on plants. Plants too depend on animals for their growth. Animals carry and disperse seeds from one place to another. Thus, new plants can grow. Also, animals' waste can be used as manure to provide essential nutrients for plants. Animals give out carbon dioxide, which is used by plants in the process of photosynthesis. Plant, producer, grasshopper, consumer, bird, consumer, snake, consumer, owl, consumer. Revision time. With the process of photosynthesis, plants make their own food. Like all living things, plants also breathe. There is absence of chlorophyll in some plants. Different food chains exist in different habitats. In food chain, the plants and animals are interdependent.